let me actually start recording. There we go. So this is one of the lineups that I use in P1, P2 for everybody to see. The whole core concept behind it is to get as many crits up on Sven as absolutely possible. Bubbles is the one that's going to be doing the TM reduction. Anna is going to be speeding up Hiro primarily, and Sven to get the additional crits, and Merlin just cleanses. And there's a few things that are key to this lineup to have. One is for Merlin, his use your head ability needs to be at least level 3. It needs to have that 3 cooldown reduction. If it doesn't have that 3 cooldown reduction, he's not going to be that useful, because he is going to end up having to attack your opponent, which you don't want to do. You need to have this cooldown reduction at level 3. All other abilities are irrelevant. The passive one, the higher the better, simply because you have the additional chance to activate it. But it's not a requirement. It's going to make things a lot faster. It's going to make things a lot more powerful. For Sven, what you need, and I don't have Sven here, is just the higher the abilities, the higher the gear, the better, so that you can do more and more damage. My Sven is only tier 7, but I do have the level 3 stone on it. His basic is upgraded to the max, simply so he can do as much damage as absolutely possible from it. The other ones that are important, bubbles. Especially at tier 7, once you have unlocked him at tier 7, his stare down needs to be at max, because his stare down at max is going to have double the reduction once he has tactics, which means 70% reduction. So as soon as you go and you provide Sven with your Call Me Next Time ability, essentially giving him that ticket, his stare down will give you that 70% reduction. Also, at tier 7, this is the one gear piece that is absolutely important, because this gear piece here gives you that 28% potency. It gives you that additional 10% potency to his abilities, which means that his TM reduction has a 20% chance of succeeding, as opposed to the tenacity on the opponent. Hiro, I don't have anything else upgraded for him. Anna, I don't have anything else upgraded for her either, but I don't have her here. So Merlin, you have that ability that needs to be upgraded. Bubbles, you need to have that stare down ability, and the gear piece is highly recommended. So let's go in and see what kind of damage we can do here. This is actually very nice, because I should be able to clear Ursula and head over into P4. So let's select that team. This is the lineup that you want with the spells. Cauldron on level 4 is an absolute beast, and I'll show you why. Level 2 is bare minimum required. Level 1, I don't even think it's worth putting it in there, and it won't do what you need it to do. Uh, 30% health. Yeah, I should be able to complete the 30% health. So I'm gonna do some shields up here, make sure that I can control it. As soon as Hiro does his ability, you can speed up Anna. If the turn meter is not in your favor, then don't speed up Hiro and just do your rock attack at the opponent. Speeding him up. Sven consistently eating carrots, nothing but carrots. And in P3, Ursula is going to silence Sven in this position, and that's exactly what we want. And the reason why we want that is because I'm able to go in and with Merlin cleanse that. Now, I'm not going to speed anybody else up, simply because I know that Bubbles is next, and as soon as Bubble comes next, it gives me two things. One, it gives me the ability to ticket Sven, which means that now Bubbles has his tactics up, and now, because Ursula is very close to completing that turn, I'm going to speed up Bubbles, and now I'm going to stare down Ursula to remove that TM, essentially giving my entire lineup an additional turn. Keep eating those carrots with Sven. And that little thing that Merlin did, that was his passive, as you can see here, which his passive is increasing your magic, which is what you want. For Merlin, whenever Merlin comes up, this ability here is the one that's going to grant tactics to the teammate and reduce the cooldown of an ability. So basically, you're always going to use this on Merlin. And the reason why you want to use this on Merlin is, if you notice that turn meter, that's not going to go up. It's only going to go up because there's an additional person that's coming in queue, not because you attacked your opponent, whether it's Glute or the Eels or Ursula, it doesn't matter. So you always want to be able to do that. Hiro is going to do shields as much as absolutely possible. Sven is going to eat carrots as much as possible. And that's what you want from Sven. You want Sven to attack through assists. Now, this is going to be a little dangerous here. I'm going to cleanse some Merlin some more. It's a little dangerous because I don't like that health on Anna. And I truly, truly hope... I'm going to slow things down a little bit in case I need to forfeit this. Stare down whenever possible, especially when it's at high turns like that. This feels insanely slow. I usually play at 3 times the speed. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Awesome. So now we can go back up to regular speed. Alright, so what do we got here? Eat some more carrots. Tricky, tricky, tricky. So in this particular situation, I'm not going to speed up Bubbles because Bubbles is next in the queue, but I am going to speed up Merlin because I'm hoping that his passive is going to kick in. And it didn't, unfortunately, but that's fine. I didn't feed Ursula any TM. Which is what I needed. Okay, so now Anna is going to die, which is fine. I personally like it when Anna dies, and I'll show you why in a split second, but I'm not going to be able to show you in this phase. I'm going to have to show you in P4. So I'm not even going to bother staring her down because she's essentially at the edge. I was hoping to go in there. I was hoping to go in there with the spells, but not the case. Stats. It's tricky. I've been able to do with 20% potency. I've been able to do roughly about 80-90% accuracy with my what's it called, my TM reductions. So now that we're in this phase, the key is going to be to take down those tentacles. So even though the whole purpose is for Sven to eat the carrots, I always attack those tentacles. I always get those tentacles out of the way. Because if I don't get those tentacles out of the way, things are going to be very, very annoying. Keep eating carrots. Perfect. That's what I wanted to have. Now that we got our cauldron, that's 3 magic. Hiro gets his magic, and as soon as Hiro gets his magic and he gets his speed up, I don't speed up Bubbles. What I do is I speed up my cauldron. And I speed up my cauldron because if the cauldron goes in and gives magic to Hiro, that's one of the best case scenarios. The reason being is his charges constantly go up, and when his charges go up, his shield ability is gonna give you additional shields based on the number of charges. On top of that, because my cauldron has 3 magic, very, very rarely have I seen all 3 magic go to Hiro. They'll go 2 to Hiro, 1 to somebody else, such as Bubbles, for example. And now Bubbles' stare down is going to be increased. On top of that, when you speed up the cauldron, you also have a chance for Sven to assist on that cauldron, which is what you're essentially wanting. And then you can basically go in a nice little loop here where you're just speeding up your cauldron, you're getting magic to Hero, you're getting magic to Bubbles. Bubbles is able to continuously build up his stare down, which at this point my stare down is going to be available next turn. His shields are already up, his speed up is already up, and you're able to just constantly build that buff on Sven. As you can see, I have 17 crits at this point in time, 5 shields on him. Like that's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And now you can see that the stare down is not as effective. It doesn't take down 70% because I am getting towards the end of the turn, towards the end of that TM reduction, so to speak. That's perfect. Now that I got my shadow up, now I'm going to be shadowing Sven so that I can get some nice damage going up in there. Keep building those charges, buddy. Keep building those charges. That's 60,000 wasted on a tentacle, but it is what it is. I am not going to use his attack on it. Now that I have the shadow, I'm able to go in and use the shadow, like that, to take 30 damage on a tentacle instead of, don't use 100k damage on a tentacle. Come on, shadow assist. I'm not gonna finish it. Like, there's the chances of me finishing this are incredibly slim because I don't have barley. Amelia. 50 crits on shadowing on Sven is fantastic. It's very hard in my situation to do that. If you have barley on your team, completely different situation. And yes, the higher the better. I normally wait to about 10 to 15 different crits on Sven before I start shadowing him. Reason being, I also want the shadow to be there, especially against Glued, because I want that shadow to take damage. I want that shadow to take some of the hits from my opponent and give me the chance to build up my spells again. There's another 60k damage there. Barley is different, so it depends on how you want to run it. I've seen people run barley instead of Merlin. Personally, I run barley instead of Hiro, and I put Hiro instead of what's it called? Instead of Merlin, simply because I want barley to be one of the last two available. Even with the shadow, I don't attack with Sven. I always eat those carrots. You want to build up as many crits on Sven as absolutely possible, because every time he assists, he uses a crit, right? As you can see, Hiro is just constantly building up the charges. Like, I have 8 charges on him now. So now when I do my shields, I'm going to get that much more shield out of it. Which those shields are important because later on in the game, when Hiro does die and your other characters are not there anymore, you're going to need those shields to withstand a little bit more damage, to deal a little bit more damage, right? I haven't used Honey Lemon that much yet because she's not that strong. Yeah. I need to up her a little bit. So now Merlin is gonna die the next turn simply because Ursula's ability is already charged up. So let's see how much longer I can keep building this up. That's a nice 100k hit. I am gonna go and speed up Bubbles instead of the Cauldron now because she is getting to that point where I don't want her to kill Merlin just yet. I want to save him a little bit more. It's actually a pretty good run. Managed to get 30 hit or more, 30 crits or more. Honey Lemon does have 15% reduction, but that's only on T8. That's not on T7. So that's what I'm saying. My Honey Lemon is not that high up. I only got 10% TM reduction, which the 10% TM reduction, while it's fantastic, it's only 10%. I would much rather have Merlin instead of Honey Lemon to be able to get my spells a chance to charge up. And now she's gonna kill Merlin. Oh, not yet. Oh, I got lucky on that one. There's a nice 100k hit. Yeah, I should have gone and done bubbles on that one. That was a mistake, but that's fine. Now that Merlin is out of the picture, the cauldron is constantly going to be building up my bubbles and my hero. The way cauldron works is if there's a teammate that has magic missing, that's the one that it's going to give it to. As you can see, Sven is not getting any of my cauldron. Be nice if my actual Sven assists every now and then, but can't be too picky here. There we go, 100k hit. Wouldn't it be nice if one of those, Shadow Sven hits are assisted by the real Sven? Be nice, right? As you can see, I did target the tentacle when I sped up my cauldron simply because I want there to be the chance of assisting on a yeah, now you go in and you assist. Stupid deer. Sped up bubbles there because my turn meter dictated that I wasn't gonna get I wasn't potentially gonna get a chance on bubbles. Thank you. Yeah, I should be careful. Yeah, Peachy, like I said, like this is like it does take getting used to with like having patience. When before the barley nerf, I was able to go in for I think it was like 50-minute run going from P2 essentially clearing P4. I had to kill it because excuse me because Eve was gonna kick me out and cancel my run. And in this particular situation, I can tell you right now that Bubbles is going to die. So that's going to be a little annoying, but it's been a pretty good run so far, I think. Come on, Sven. Thank you. There goes Bubbles, as expected. And now, as soon as that tentacle goes down, comes the fun part. There we go. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we start dumping attacks. Because at this point, we have a limited time to do it. In this case, I'm going to speed up Sven here, and the reason why I sped up Sven instead of the cauldron is because Sven gets his attack up whenever I speed him up, and I want that attack up because I'm able to get over 100 damage with a single attack. you, Sven. Thank you, Sven. Bye-bye, Hiro. Don't even care about that tentacle now because I'm not even going to be able to run through the 40 crits that I have stacked up already on Sven. It's going to be done in like seconds now. And Sven, bye-bye, Sven. Alright, that's not bad. About a third health of P4. I want to say that's solid 2 mil. For a second there, I thought that the raid was already over. And you can see like how much shield I have on Sven. That's all because of that of the charges on Hiro. Like he's constantly getting smacked and smacked and smacked, and just she still hasn't gone through his shield. Like she has to instant kill him. 2.5 mil. There we go. So like I said, and like look at that, 2.5 mil total damage, 2.4 Sven. That's that's your goal. Sven is your guy, nobody else. Merlin should never ever have to attack anybody. That's purely cleanse and purely to get rid of everything else. That cleanse is key against Glut as well, because in what I do against Glut, and I'm hoping to record that next time, I let Glut attack me first, and then I cleanse his negative effects on my teammates with Merlin's ability. I like it better than Baymax's simply because it builds up my spells as well, and I'm able to get that cauldron out there. I'm able to get it going and going and going. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm gonna stop recording here.